when you move, you said you're going to keep the sportsman, but you're going to get rid of this one?
No, we'll keep this one. We're just gonna add to it. So then we'll add the gauntlet and then the oven. So that's kind of like, this is Rad Ink 2.0, you know, Rad Ink 3.0. We'll add the press, the second
Where's
oven.
the other building from here?
There's a couple we're looking at. You know, like I'm also a gymnastics coach and I run a gym that's like 4 miles away and they've got a huge building that has open warehouse space.
Nice.
And it's 3-phase, like this is a single phase
Oh,
building.
yeah.
So we're kind of, we're limited. So we'll add that and then we're also gonna add, you know, either a 6 or 12 head embroidery
More
machine.
embroidery. Are you doing a lot of embroidery now?
Ridiculous amount.
On a single head?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is Nate, is my best friend, business partner.
So one piece?
Yeah, right now until we get to 6. So
I feel your pain on that. I had a guy that we were sending embroidery to for a while. He was just like a, you know, good old boy, you know, handshake thing, and he would do orders for us, and I'd be like, hey, here's like 200 hats and like all this stuff, and it'd be like a week, one at a time. He's like, yeah, each one of these hats is like 15 minutes. I'm just like,
yeah, dude.
He's like, yeah, I started at 6 this morning, and it's now midnight, and I've got whatever, like 15 hats done.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Dude, he's got like our same setup that we'll be at next with the Gauntlet 3, and he's got the Sprint 3000.
3000.
Yeah.
That's my setup.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, because we're doing a ton of like 10, 12, 14 color prints, and the Gauntlet's perfect for that. And then the Sportsman runs like all your like, you know, your 1 to 4 color prints all day long. So it's, for us, it's perfect setup. And having the split belt's beautiful because we do water-based and plastisol and poly stuff. So it's like the Gauntlet could be doing discharge, and then the Sportsman could be doing poly, and you can change the belt speeds to accord, you know, go whatever you need to do. So before that, it was like, oh, you got to do a poly job. Well, you do that while he's on lunch, so you can change the belt speed, or you got to do this, and it's like, all right, well, do that before he gets in the morning. And now with the split belt, it's just like recipes. It's like,
That's killer.
So nice.
That's killer.
yeah, it's amazing. I literally had a Sprint that had nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't a split belt, and I couldn't retrofit it. And I sold that and bought a whole brand new Sprint 3000 just
where are
so
you
that.
at?
Upstate New York. Yeah. This is not as hot as here.
Not as high.
I've been adjusting over the past couple days. But no, Tennessee's been rad. It's been cool. Dude, you'd be surprised at some of the stuff we get to see that's like people cramming into tiny spaces, but just being like filthy. You know, there's two different kinds of shop. There's the people that care and the quality and like making sure everything's like a good workflow. And I can tell that you guys have that here. And then there's people that are just like, how many shirts can I print in this hellhole dungeon?
Yeah, dude. Well, that was one of the first things with our mentors. We kind of said, well, you know, tell us the things that separate shops. And they said, well, you know, they said this shop, Anderson Studios,
Yeah.
you know, they said he is the best printer in the world and immaculate everything, but he's photo quality, blah, blah, blah. Then they said this shop right here is known for being the cleanest shop. Like their shop is like drop dead clean. And they said this shop is the last resort shop because every time it leaves, someone's got ink on it.
Right.
You know, and so that instantly stuck in our heads. So we're like, all right, well then we've got to try to be handy and learn from him, and then we got to try to be clean and then not be these guys.
Right.
You know?
We had this conversation yesterday. It's like you don't realize how much more stuff you get done when, because people are like, I don't have time to clean this, or I don't have time to do the maintenance on this. It's like, dude, like it makes your workflow and your employees so much happier when everything's like super clean and organized. Like if you're like, oh cool, I need shirts from over here, I don't have zero worries in my mind that I'm gonna get ink on it between there and here, or like just ink on everything, or just finding tools or finding spray or whatever you gotta do. It's like just being super clean and organized makes you so much faster. at print.
Absolutely.
It's just like bing bang boom go, or staging jobs or whatever. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. So what do you got? Dark room and stuff back there?
Do it.
Dark room and all that?
Yeah,
kind of
man.
thing? Dude, every shop I've been into down south has
A water cooler.
swamp. Oh, they
Yeah,
swamp
dude.
cooler? Everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
that's cool.
So we mix our inks here. You know, try to keep it all back there. Air compressor, ink storage, and then screens. Some DIY stuff.
You have to.
Well, you just have limited funds, so you got to go, all right, where can
And
I spend
space.
my money and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
make it work, you
Yeah.
know? So when we first had our initial chunk of change, you know, we said, all right, we got to make good screens. Let's buy a great exposure unit. So we bought that sucker.
What you should do is you should take a black garbage bag and tape half of it here and the other half on the bottom, and then just change the bag every like month. So you'll never end up with ink on the back of the.
Oh, that'll work fine.
Yeah, just put like right here. Take duct tape or put one side of a black garbage bag taped on the bottom, and then like I said, change it out every so often. So that way you don't end up with this stuff flaking off and landing on the glass, and then you end up with pinholes.
It happens.
So if you just change the garbage bag every time it gets ink on it or gets dirty,
right on.
then you have a lot less.
To be honest, I've just thought about changing that recently, just because that does happen to us all the time.
Yeah, change it and then do the garbage bag, and then you'll never have to worry about stuff like this.
No, that'd be killer. That's great advice. Well,
are you coating back there and then drying them on that rack?
We coat them back there, and then a lot of times we'll put them inside our little
the drying
cabinet
underneath.
You know, and if we're in a hurry, we throw a heater on it. You know, because we have a couple big jobs that we're trying to get out.
I know you're going to get in the gauntlet and all that other stuff. Are you upping anything with your darkroom as far as like maybe CTS or auto coater or anything like that?
It hasn't been even something I've considered putting money into yet. Is it something you would recommend?
It would be the first thing I would do before I got the press.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's so much faster, so much. Like, we probably 6 years ago went to the iImage. So I bought the iImage, I bought the Starlight, and I got the Unicoat all at one time. So the Unicoat is one of the best things I've ever bought. Like, ROI is less than a year. Same with the CTS. I think the ROI on it was like a year and a half. So it was like, you get rid of film, you get rid of printing film, you get rid of film storage, you get rid of carrier sheets, you get rid of just the movement of film in general is what pays for that machine so much faster. Plus, everything's computerized. You can just hit print, prints directly to the screen, so there's no light undercutting. You're like half-tone details way better. It's just so much faster, like so much faster.
Wow.
And then the Unicoat is like, you don't have to coat screens manually anymore. It's a uniform coat. You're not worrying about pinholes. If you had a long night last night or doing something else and you come in the next day and you're just like choppy or whatever, you have a perfect uniform coat all the time.
That's what's up.
It just takes all the human error out of it.
Yeah.
So going from Unicoat to drying cabinet to CTS to burning on your Starlight, it's just like makes everything so much faster out here.
Well, that's good.
Pre-press is like super important.
Yeah.
So
dude.
I would think about that before.
That's good. It's good info.
Are you using the same palettes for everything?
For standard
Are you
stuff,
using water-based glue or spray tech?
water-based.
What about when you have a hoodie order?
If it's a hard, like detailed stuff, then we'll use a spray tack. But otherwise,
Are you
we
using
try
the
to.
same palettes?
We'll replace it, like the tape.
Yeah. So that would be my other thing is we have water-based palettes and then spray glue palettes, like web spray palettes, so that we, like literally no joke, probably don't have to change our palette tape until maybe every 6 months.
Dang. It doesn't get soft and squishy?
No, because if you're using water-based glue, you know, every couple hundred shirts, you're just adding some water, scrubbing the lint off. The only time we would change the palette tapes is if it gets ripped or something happens, but right about that mark of like however many prints, you might start to get a bubble on the tape just from it being heated and cooled so many times. That's when we change palette tape. So like daily, if you're doing an order and some customer wants 100 shirts but 5 hoodies, you just ruined all those palettes because you sprayed web glue on all those palettes. And then you got to change all the palette tape, which is like another half hour or whatever of doing that. For us, it's just undo the levers, pull it off, put the other pallets on, spray those 5, put those pallets off, put back on, and then go right back to printing. So for the price of whatever, 8, 10 pallets per press, that's changing palette tape every day over 5, 6 months.
Yeah, it's killer.
So we have separate pallets for everything. So we have 2 sets of sleeve pallets, 2 sets of, 1622 pallets, and 2 sets of youth pallets just for that. So like these ones are water-based, these ones are spray. The spray ones obviously you have to change more often because you're building up lint. But once it stops being an uneven surface, like if it starts to dome or it starts to like be weird.
That's when you do it.
Or if you're doing like left chest a ton and like this side's a little higher than this side, we'll change palette tape. But even with hoodies, if we're doing a left chest, I'll spray the whole thing so that the lint grabs on both sides rather than just the left chest side. So it doesn't do that like weird one side thing. Yeah.
With Andy's help, we're going to start doing a lot more crazy stuff.
Yeah, you're in good hands. Like just tell me to shut up.
No, dude, you already gave us some good advice. And we'll take all that we can get. I mean, for what we have in the shop, it's been a game changer.
Well, I was telling you, I was thinking about getting that that other press to take away my Sidewinder. I need a mid-size, pretty much the Fusion. So
It
I
doesn't.
wonder if you like it.
It doesn't pull. I mean, you probably have triple phase with everything you know.
Yeah.
But with us, like the power output was such a big deal
Right.
that we're able to run. We have 200 amps here, and I think we get to like 180 with everything that we have. And so this just perfectly fit the bill for exactly how much power we had in the building. And so the guys.
But you're getting good cure on it and everything.
Oh yeah, good cure on it. We don't. I mean, we have the probe, and so we probe every single job, so that way we know what we're getting to,
Right.
and then we time everything so we can repeat it again.
So when are you trying to move?
Our
You said you
lease-
got 6 months.
Our lease is up here in December.
It's a
And
good
then-
time to move.
For sure, because when we left the garage, I mean, dude, the garage was crazy, man, because we started selling so much out of it, but I had a townhome. And so, I mean, like, dude, then we had a piston-driven compressor, and it
Wow.
was loud. The HOA didn't like it, but we were like, dude, we've got to keep moving forward. So then we actually had the unit right next to us, and it was half this size. So for a year, we had this. We bought this about halfway through it. We were using the Economax D at first, and dude, we were just literally back to playing limbo again. And then this place opened up, and we just said, hey, that's an easy switch. The landlord was cool. We literally moved everything right over here and got a year here. Like Nate was a tour manager for Cole Swindell, Kenny Chesney. He was on the road all the time. And then when he had his first kid, he wanted to get off the road. He's been my best friend since I moved to Tennessee. And so he's like, dude, I want to get off. And I was like, listen, I have a little screen printing business, but I think it could be really successful if we really put some time into it.
Right.
I said, we got to find an auto. We got to figure out how to make it work. Within a week, he goes, I found an auto. I'm driving to South Carolina. Let's buy it. I said, do it.
Let's do it.
And so literally, I was at a competition out of state. He drives to South Carolina with a Penske truck, shows back up at my house, and then we're like, all right,
Let's see how we can make this
how
work
do we
in the
do
garage.
this? And
That's awesome. Those are the best stories, though, too.
yeah, dude. And then a week later, we had that one company that said, all right, we need 1,500 shirts, 4 locations, and we were like, what? Is that even possible? We had a tech fly in and help us set up the press, and then
That's smart, too, because that's one of the best things you can do. Anytime you move a press, you should have a tech come out and, like, get it all perfectly level and calibrated.
do we have one of the cleaner shops that you've seen?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, it's just like, this is my passion. Like, this is what I'm all about. It's just like printing and learning and visiting shops just to talk to people like you and see like your story and like whatever. But it's like, you can tell people that care about the craft of printing, not necessarily the business of printing. You can have both. Like, you can have a rad business and care about printing, but like to have both and like show the care of like realistically, even if you think business-wise, if you're just business-minded, that's the cost of a cheap house. That's the cost of a cheap house.
Yep.
It's like, why are you not wiping it down or like taking
for
care
sure.
of it or doing the maintenance? It's like,
Abso-freaking-lutely.
there's so many people that are just like, I bought it, I have the cheap labor, I have the cheap ink, I just cranking stuff out to make as much profit on every shirt as possible. And it's like, why?
Yeah, dude.
When you want to be passionate about the thing that you're doing every single day for however many years, it's like, take the time,
Well,
dude.
I've just never had the mentality of trying to be mediocre at anything.
Yeah.
That's not what I teach the kids that I coach. It's like, dude, you got to try to be the best you can be at everything, and life's a competition. So learn how to be competitive.
It's the same with me. I always talk about it's like a video game. It's like anytime I get a new press or I get a new big client that I want to deal with, it's like getting to the next level or getting like the extra whatever.
Yep.
So like for me, it's like I don't have to be doing any of this with Evanar. I don't have to be doing the podcast, the Shirt Show podcast stuff I do. It's just like I do it because I love doing it. I love just printing and talking to people.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, thanks for showing us around.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Nice
Super
meeting you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Love to get your contact info, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I might have to hit you up and say, bro, I'm stuck. What do you think
Well,
I should do?
what's your guys'